is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
Excuse me as I rock on. That's Went Away by Dorothy Lane. Dorothy Lane out of Martinez, California. That's out of the Cut and Dry album. Check them out at dorothylanemusic.com. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to Ruel's Running Podcast. I'm your host, Ruel Abadam. Dun-dun-dun. Yes. It's, I actually had a little bit of a recording, but I just chucked it. I trashed it. I dumped it. Because as I listened to it, I realized I was talking in a little tiny space. But actually not. It was me talking through the Bluetooth earpiece / mic, and that produces an awful sound, apparently. So here I am, take two. It's about a month since I sat down and recorded the last segment, or the last episode, or a segment from the last episode. I can't remember. And how's everybody doing? I want to say that I'm doing good, but I have to say that I'm doing great. Things are different, so things are going to be different. And if things, how was it once put? Someone said, if you're going through your day-to-day during this sort of shelter-in-place COVID sort of pandemic period, if you're going through your day-to-day and everything is normal, then you're not sort of safe distancing correctly, you're not sheltering in place correctly, you're still going about things pre-COVID, and depending on where you are, who you're around, that might not necessarily be a good thing. So need to check yourself. So but I'm sure you're doing fine. So I'm actually struggling, but I'm doing great, if that even makes sense. I am great because I have to be thankful just to have what I have. It's been a long process of trying to get adjusted, and maybe this is something to never get adjusted to. So, it is what it is. So, if you are like me and struggling through not being adjusted, not being well adjusted, if as they say, I think hang in there, and I need to tell myself that as well. I like to say, if this is as good as it's ever going to get, then I need to be able to manage myself better. So maybe that's how you feel too, right? Maybe things won't ever be back to what we remember as normal. So just kind of be in a position where you can catch yourself when it's really, really hard, and then just try to take a breather. I need to do that. I need to remember to take that breather. I need to remember to not allow work and personal time to sort of merge. I need to separate things so that I can have a level of sanity. But before I can do that, I need to get gas. I'll be back in a second. All right, I'm back. I just had to stick the long nozzly thing in the hole thing for the gasoline thing. Yep. Now that I've inserted it in the hole, all of that valuable liquid is spilling into my tank. So yeah, the struggle is like it's like The struggle is like the longing to be able to do things that you're used to doing, and things like making that commute into the office, and interacting with folks, hopping on a train, taking a walk in the morning to get from your parked vehicle to a train, having some space, in the day to not be with your kids, to not be with the kids, right? Yeah, tough. It's funny because before all of this, there was that fantasy that, wow, if I was able to work from home all the time, how great could that be? But what happens is when you fantasize that sort of thing, you don't really take into account, if your kids would also be going to school from home as well. So you don't factor in now I have to juggle both the parenting side during my workday as well as my workday. So, yeah, strange. Yeah, it is what it is. The other things I miss, like the midday run in the city, I can't see myself picturing a midday run sort of in this shelter-in-place situation, because that would mean the kids aren't going to go running with me, right? And both my wife and I were working from home, and we both have our own schedules of when we hop on a Zoom or something and do an online meeting. It's tough, really tough. There's like attention to everything that has to happen, and it's really, really, really hectic. All right, I'm back again. Just finished filling up the gas tank. I'm on my way to the store. It's the weekend, so I'm gonna put a timestamp on this thing, and it's going to be released late, obviously, with everything else. Everything's not normal. What is it? Start date, May 23rd, 2020. There you go. That's when this bit of recording is taking place. It's been quite a while. I think, what was it? Ever since sometime in March, work from home. Now it's May. Towards the end of May. It's crazy. And my work has already communicated that they're asking everybody in the company, regardless of if you're within the US or not, to continue to work from home, through August, right? And I'm like, okay, so it's towards the end of May. I've got all of summer to be working from home. Now, the good thing is, let's say everything opens up through the summer, right? That means, that's great. But if I'm working from home, then I'm not going to throw a bunch of money into summer programs. My wife might want to, but I don't want to, right? And besides, if they do open up, there's still going to be a level of caution that's going to be out there. Can you imagine summer programs where everybody's wearing masks, and that, it's been several months already we could just figure out how to have the kids continue to stay home. And yes, I'm complaining about how tough it is to be on the ball all the time so that things don't get unattended as far as both work and family. But yeah, it does take work to stick the kids into a summer program anyways. There's what programs are they going to be in? And then with all 3 kids, are they all going to be in separate programs, which means there's going to be sort of these 3 separate schedules that are going to be all intermingled, and there's potentially 3 different drop-offs and 3 different pickups. So how does that impact the day, as far as me trying to focus and work and stuff? So it's like, crazy. Oh, here's the other thing, right? So even with the ask of being asked to work through August, because they're sort of depending on how things are, they're thinking possibly September is when, we can start this re-entry, right? Even if re-entry was in September, the company isn't going to mandate folks to be in the office through the rest of the year. So at the very least, or at best, we'd expect guaranteed re-entry for 2021 after the new year. Crazy, right? Yeah. Anyways, I can't sit on this podcast and be like, hey, everybody, welcome to Ruel's Running Podcast. What's cooking? Well, what's cooking is I'm going to grill. It's kind of warm today, but I'm going to grill. It's the weekend, right? So, I can't just sit and go through some sort of format, one of the various formats that I've tried to stick to with the podcast, without having to talk about, life, existence today in this sort of weird place. But the truth is, I am going to grill. As a matter of fact, after leaving the gas station, I got to the grocery store because I gotta grab ribs. I want to grill some meat. I hadn't talked about it, but we had this gas grill, and it was falling apart in the inside. And I managed to find replacement parts, for the tubes and whatnot. The burners and the shields and whatnot. So, found the proper replacement, got them in place, and I gutted that gas grill, took all of the inside corroded sort of piping and the shields and things, and cleaned out all of the bits and things that had been there for a while, and I put new guts, and with new guts, it's a new grill, and I'm gonna take advantage of that grill. I'm gonna run it to the ground. So yeah, I'm gonna grill. Yeah, and I guess I'll talk about running at some point. But let me go hit the grocery store, and I'll be back. I'm back. Got some pork ribs, got some beef short ribs. It's gonna be good. All right. Yeah, so at this time of the year is when the Aloni 50K would have happened, but like a lot of events, it's canceled. What I am seeing is on Facebook sort of the reminders, the memories of the event in the past. So I did it the previous 2 times, and I miss it. And oh boy, it's a warm weekend. It's Saturday. It's warm. It's gonna be even warmer tomorrow. So would have been a tough one. I was looking forward to last year to experiencing a typical Aloni 50K, and that didn't happen. It was an alternate course, and it was really sloshy. And the first year I did it, the year before that, it was the main course, but it wasn't a typical hot day. So it was a cooler year. So, you know, if it had been okay to do this year, you know, I think this year would have been a typical sort of weather for the event. So, not. And how much running have I been doing lately? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of running whatsoever. I did wake up to my alarm, which I had set for about 5 o'clock. I figured if I get my butt up at 5, I can make coffee, I can sort of like wake up at that first half hour, take a dump, you know, and then just before sunrise, you know, around 5:30, I could, you know, hit a 8-mile loop. Do that. What, you know, give me a nice easy 2 or so hours just to get that loop done. Watch the day come through, the daylight come through. But 5 o'clock hit, and I snoozed that damn alarm. And I snoozed it again, and I snoozed it again. And you know, after that first snooze, I had already decided, nah, I'm not feeling like I'm going to do it. So, shame on me. Maybe tomorrow morning. Yeah, I need to get that ball rolling. You know, how awesome, Ruel, would it be if you could get your ass up every 5 a.m. and have the discipline to wake up that first half hour, have the discipline to take that early dump, have that early cup of coffee, and have the discipline to you know, kind of get 8 miles out. You know, if I had that discipline. You know what makes it tough? What makes it tough is that at the end of the day, at the end of the evening, I've just set myself up with too much alcohol to feel like 5 o'clock is where I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. And yeah, so I need to be able to take advantage of both activities, running and alcohol, and not have one overpower the other. Well, no. I mean, even if I ran a lot and that caused me to like cut out drinking, that can't be cool. That can't be fun. What fun is that? Lonnie would have to stop being my friend if he were to find out that I actually quit drinking alcohol. Do you need a website? If you're an individual, a consultant, a group, or small business and need a site, or maybe you have an existing site, I can help. How about graphic design? Do you need a design for a t-shirt, logo, product, business cards? You know, maybe you need help with designing and developing a brand. I'm not an expert, but I do have the tools and the techniques to get the job done. How about a podcast? Yep, like this thing. This thing's a silly little show. Are you looking to set up a podcast of your own? Are you looking to reach an audience? Promote your business via podcast? Well, Abadam Studios. That's right, Abadam Studios. Yeah, so that's Abadam Studios. AbadamStudios.com, AbadamStudios.com. Check it out. He actually threatened to not be my friend. The fact that I enjoy an IPA every now and again. Right, Lonnie? So, I was listening to a podcast recently, and I haven't listened to that many recently, because, like a lot of things, just things aren't the way they used to be. But I managed to squeak out a couple episodes of something recently, and sort of reminded that it's an opportunity. Right now is an opportunity. It's sort of this reset period, and there's an opportunity to sort of reinvent yourself. There's opportunity because you can't sort of settle down and sort of coast with the way things had been for the past 4 or 5 years and figure that you'd still be good to go. You know, this era, if you want to call it, has forced change, and we're all having to adapt. You know, and so rather than just be a victim of the circumstance and have to adapt to it, why not just reinvent oneself, right? So I like that. And I've gotten a lot of inspiration listening to other podcasts, and because I've not been listening to that many lately, or in the past few months, I've sort of disconnected from a source of inspiration. So I need to reinvent myself, and I need to tap into things that could put me in a better spot so that I can figure out what that's going to be. No, I'm not going to change genders, which there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not right for me. But, I'm going to reinvent myself one way or another. Cool. So, that was the running segment. But on the exercise bit, I've done, in the past few months, I've done a few bike rides with my son. Something that we've just started to do because of this break. I can count maybe 8 or 9 dad and son runs, not runs, but bike rides. So, I got a cheap mountain bike from somewhere. I think it was Amazon or something. And he has his own mountain bike, and we're getting more use out of the bikes lately, and I definitely have been getting more use out of it. So much that I've had to replace the left crank arm on the pedal for the pedals. So what else? My son's he's been wearing out his tires, so I've had to yesterday I replaced his rear tire, and I haven't done that since I was a little kid, maybe his age or younger. And it was funny because thinking back when I would change a tire as a kid, I didn't have all the tools that are available today to make tire changing easy, where you sort of have these levers that you could use to pop out the tire from the rim, and at the other end of the lever there are these little hooks that you could use if you needed to sort of attach to one of the spokes and maintain contact with trying to extract the tire. Didn't have any of that. When I was a kid, I learned from watching my older cousins. They would use flathead screwdrivers, right? Try to be careful not to puncture the inner tube and things of that nature. But man, when I changed my son's rear tire the other day, it was like nothing. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, okay, I get it. Because I'm grown now, right? I've got bigger hands. Right, and a bit more strength. Not too much from when I was a kid because I'm still pretty weak. But popping out a tire and prying out that rubber from a rim, isn't that much of a challenge for a grown person versus a kid who may have been less than 7. I don't know. Back then you bike over to the gas station store and ask them for some tire patch or inner tube patching kit, and learned how to patch an inner tube watching my older cousins, just get around to it and do it. None of my parents, I didn't have to ask permission from my parents if it was okay for me to do those things. I just as long as I had the material, I could do it. I may have had to ask what I needed, and then if they were able to get it, then I'd be able to just. That was the permission. That was enough permission. It's like, okay, I bought you the tire repair kit. Okay, here you go. So then, all right. But yeah, I did that. Pretty neat. Doing little things like that is a great break from a long day's, sort of plop down on a chair, staring at a computer and all that stuff. So I would say, about 8 bike rides with my son. He wants to go again today. I said, sure. But now I have to figure out, okay, when do we do that bike ride and when do I fire up that grill? I think he even wants to roast marshmallows because, we like spending time in the backyard. It's just the fact that it's warmer. I just need to, make sure that there aren't any sort of like spare the air days. It isn't a spare the air day where, you can't be setting fires and things and polluting the air. What else? Yeah, so, the bike rides are great. We cover a good amount of distance, for my son in a short amount of time. I do get a bit of a zone 2 workout going on if depending on how I move. But I'm not running, and I want to run. I want to feel that jarring sensation of pounding the pavement, right? Yeah. So gotta figure something out. Set some sort of goal. Definitely reinvent who I am happiest being. Yeah. And it makes me sound really sad and pathetic. I don't know, Maybe there are others that are out there that feel funky in their own way this time. But I don't know. I don't know. Podcasting's taking a dip, and I see it, but I long ago let go of the feeling that can be associated with watching too much statistics and then feeling like a growth pattern of downloads and followers and things of that nature was going to help identify who I am as an individual, because I know what that feels like to ooh, wow, look at all my downloads, right? And I feel great. I'm validated, Then next thing you know, there's a dip for whatever reason, and then you start to feel depressed and feel like, I'm not who I thought I was. There's too much put into, the likes and the downloads and this and that. I stopped caring because I'll put episodes out when I'm ready, and I'm not worried about, I got to keep pushing them out as consistently and as frequently and greater volume so that I can keep these numbers up so that I can feel good about myself. I don't need numbers to be there to make me feel good. I need to make myself feel good because I just feel good. So, I hope folks understand that and appreciate that. And it's not just podcasting, it's also the social media stuff, right? If you post something and no one cares to like it, who cares? Don't even pay attention to it, But, everyone lives in their own little echo sort of space, and that sometimes those sort of interactions are the only thing they have. And I don't know if that's okay. How can that be the only thing you have, right? How could that be the only thing you have? And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not, there's good in it. Really, if you're in a situation where, your life really, really sucks, but somehow interactions online are helping you from killing yourself, then thank goodness for social media, right? But also know that, God, there is something wrong in that scenario. If your reality is such that you may just want to kill yourself, you need to get help. Because if your only lifeline is social media, what the fuck would happen if the internet were to shut down? Like, there was like a digital COVID-19 that shut down the internet for fucking months, and you couldn't get on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Then what? Right? So something's wrong in your reality. You need to get help, and you need to be able to freaking sustain your existence in a real way, you know? Go start a business, right? Cut people's grass. Pay people's curbside house numbers. You know, do something, you know? Learn how to tie balloon figures, you know? Do something real, right? because balloon art is real as it gets. All right, I'm back. Back. I just picked up some shrimp and mussels. I'm gonna throw those on the grill. Why not? Yeah. And you know how I was talking about how if I allowed myself to just enjoy too much to drink at the end of the evening, that it impacts my ability to feel okay with getting up at 5 in the morning. So I figured, well, it's the weekend, right? If I want to take advantage of a Sunday morning, an early Sunday morning run, I need to do something about that Saturday, about a Saturday night sort of too much to drink sort of vibe that'll sabotage my waking. So I've decided to drink earlier on a Saturday afternoon. Get that out of my system so that I can wake up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed on a Sunday morning. Hallelujah. That's the plan. What's the goal, Ruel? Well, you know, just try and prove that I can get my ass up. Have a little bit of discipline, get my ass up early, and bang out those 8 miles. And get some fresh air and just sort of feel good. Try to feel good. You know, and if all that fails, I don't know. Have to rethink how I'm going to approach things. Good Lord. Yeah. Heading home with groceries. What else is going on? So I basically talked about a bit of running. Yeah. I saw online a handful of virtual runs, which are fun. At one point in time in the podcast, I thought, how cool would it be if I could get a level of support through things like, what the heck is that thing called? Patreon, right? Enough interest and support that I could why don't I create a virtual run of my own, right? Why not? I like to design stuff. I can design a metal, right? Maybe that could be my thing too. I could design. Not only can I design websites and other things, I could maybe start getting into the business of designing metals. I mean, there's a lot of attractive metals out there, and there's some that just look like garbage. You know, it's like someone tells their 2-year-old, I need you to draw me a medal. Here's a paper and some crayons. Draw me something. And then no matter what comes out, they're like, brilliant! I'm going to turn that into a medal. Right? And tons of people spend at least, I don't know, $80 to register for at least a 5K, up to a half marathon. Right? And they finish their event and they get a medal, and it looks like garbage. It looks like something a 2-year-old would have drawn with crayons. Yeah, I've seen those. And those don't care about. I mean, as much as I'm fascinated with being able to design something like a metal and something really good, I only hold on to the ones that I really feel something about, like there's something sentimental, like, you know, like I really grinded really hard on that particular 50K, and so that metal represents that really special time, you know, and that's cool, right? There's a bunch of half marathons where I got a medal, and I'm like, really? Like, screw that. You know? You can take your medal, right? You can take a design on a medal and put it on something else that I would care about. Not a ribbon, an ugly ribbon with an ugly thing dangling on a little tiny metal loop called a medal, right? I like, you know, put it on a shot glass. Give me like a handful of shot glasses. Give me, you know, some whiskey glass that commemorates the event, right? Or a really good sort of reusable thermal, you know, water flask. The first Aloni 50K that I did, they got, you know, they had some really awesome swag. The water flask, love it. You know, I didn't even use it for quite a while. I just kept it sort of in its box, pristine, and just wanted to appreciate it every now and again. Just take it out, look at it. But that would have just been a waste. I figured, well, let's just start using it, and I can enjoy it that way. So yeah, my own virtual run. Why not? But you know what? The whole Patreon thing early on, it just, you know, who was I kidding? I wanted to figure out the platform and just put it out there and see if there was any interest. But yeah, there was no interest, and I'm not interested. As well, you know, the idea was, yeah, let's see, how do I structure this Patreon? I'll do like a $1 level, you know, that'll be like the 1 miler, right? Then there'll be like a $5 level, that'll be like the 5K. I had these themes for these different levels: 1 mile, 5K, 10K. 10K, this is the 10K was if you were to donate like $10, you'd be in the 10K level. And each of these levels had their own benefits. And I got kind of stupid, and I went like, you know, half marathon, it was like you donate $13, you know, and then a marathon, you donate $24, you know, so dumb. But yeah, that was just me trying to get familiar with the platform, and it never produced anything. But you know, there's a bunch of others out there that benefit from sort of that, utilizing that platform. Just it wasn't for me, you know. Maybe some other project, I don't know. I mean, yep. So I talked about those bike rides with my son, and we've been hitting these trails and sidewalks and things around the area. Then it becomes limited, and I told him, if we really want to make our rides interesting, there's a particular hill, right? I don't know, 400, 500 feet climb over, I don't know what distance, but you know, it does take a little bit of effort. I said, if we want to make the rides more meaningful, this hill, going up and down it, we're gonna have to be able to like dominate that hill, right? So we went again after I sort of gave him that talk, and he's like, yeah, okay, that was easier the second time around. The following time. So he gets it, you know, and it surprises his mom, and it surprises my wife, because he's like, wow, you did that hill? Like, yeah. I said, I told him, you know, if you want to open up the possibilities of where you ride, I keep calling it a run, we're gonna have to dominate that hill. So I said, we're gonna take that hill. You ready? Let's go. You know, and I mean, because at the end of the day, like if a certain hill that has started out to be a challenge becomes nothing, then you can say you've gotten stronger, right? So without having to say, let's go make you stronger, let's just say, let's go make our rides even more interesting by dominating this hill and not make it a non-issue. So there you go. Well, I'm home. I'm going to call that all I've got this May of 2020, at least for this week. Who knows what the rest of the month is going to be looking like. Maybe next week. So I'll leave that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stay safe. Eat something delicious. Hug your friends, hug your family as well, and go run something. Or ride. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies. Also, be sure to check out the site over at ruelsrunning.com. This has been another Coffee with Heavy Cream production. Join us next time for another silly show of Ruel's Running Podcast.